Gordon doesn't show this part. This is the turkey.
There's our bird.
We're gonna take a video on how to break it down. You guys are gonna break down turkeys and chickens.
They got this on here still. With all the innards.
There you go. Put the bird in here 1 second.
Alright, we're gonna do 8 parts for this. Little turkey. Alright, I always start taking the tip off. So if you move it, you kind of see where it's bending at the joint. And if you have to, make an incision.
Wait, I can't. Is it?
No, that's not unfair.
Okay. All right, so this is the turkey wing.
Sometimes you can even pop it.
You can snap the joint and then cut through. There you go, you heard that. And then cut through there.
Find where he's bending. I think it's up here now. There he is. Can you see that, how it's bending right there?
So it's a cartilage. It's the elbow joint of your chicken wrist, I guess. I think that's the wrist.
Cut through. That's our turkey tip.
What are we
Our
gonna do
wing
with
tip.
that? We're
Huh?
just gonna put that in stock too?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
All right. Our whole wing. It's giant too. So what I like to do is I'll nick the skin to get into the breast. But you don't want to go too far in, just so you can see. And then you can pop. I just saw it tear away in there.
dislocated shoulder.
Come around. And this is actually the breast, I think, a little bit of it. It just pulled off. But I can actually feel with my finger in there where the joint is. So I'll come down here. As I'm doing, I'm pulling back on the meat. And then, if you can get the camera in there again, you can actually just see how it separates right in there. Knife in. Just cut up against it. Right through. There's our wing. And the wing is broken into the flat and the drum. Again. Pull back on them. Cut into the skin so I can see better on what I'm doing. Pull back. Try and break his arm. There we go. Got a little bit of a break. Come in. I'm pulling the meat back again with my finger just so I can see what I'm doing. I can feel it again in there. There we go. Pull it right out. And there's our second one. Thighs. Again, kind of like how we did the wings. Just gonna cut the skin so I can really see what I'm doing in there. Down. And you can even use your fingers to pull it apart. Now up here is our breast. Down here is our leg quarter. I like to just pull back some of the sliminess, get out of my way. Cut the skin. Now picking up the whole bird, if you could. Good. Pop the thigh out. So there's our bone right there. So that means the joint's up there. So now with my knife, I'm gonna follow the bone. cut right through. Nice and simple. If you have to lay it flat again on the board to get through, do it. That's why we have the boards.
So I had this teacher in culinary school, and he always said, Mr. Peduzzi, New York accent, he always said, as long as you're cutting tissue and fat, you're on the right track, and there's not a single piece of meat or bird. I fabricate to this day that I don't hear that guy's in my head saying, as long as you're cutting tissue and fat, you're on the right track, meaning you don't want to cut away the meat that you're going to sell.
That's it. So that's our leg quarter. So we have the thigh and our drum down here. We'll go back to that after. Actually,
We're going to put those in here.
okay. Also on here, we have the chicken oyster. So back on our carcass, there's a little pocket here where the oyster sits. And if you follow the carcass and the bones, you could take it all off and leave it attached to the thigh. So again,
Same thing, other side.
yep. Cut the skin so you can see what I'm doing. Peel it back. Remove some of that sliminess. Grab the whole quarter to pop it. Pop it out right there. Taking my knife, following the carcass. So this is all bone right here that I'm keeping my knife up against.
The backbone.
Just going through. And if the knife ever gets stuck on anything, just come back out and find a different angle to get in. Because there's all different bones and joints down here. You might not be able to go cleanly through. You just find a different way. And right there. Again, you could see where the oyster was on the carcass. We have it on our thigh, leg, drum. Do you want to go to breast next or something?
Just yank that.
I always just.
Go ahead.
So we'll just.
No, I yanked that back off. That part there, yeah. That's gonna go in stock. That's the backbone. Let me cut through. There you go. All right, so now you have the double breasts of the turkey, right?
Yep.
Flip it up so you can.
Right there.
All right. I don't know if you could see, there's this line
Right down the
There you
middle.
right down the middle of where the
And
two
you could
breast
peel it.
parts fit on, it's called the keel bone. All right, so we're gonna fillet this off of the keel bone and off of the rib cage of the turkey.
So, feeling the keel bone, breastbone in the middle, either side. Just make an incision with your knife. You commit. And you're just gonna follow that bone again. Just keeping your knife along the bone.
And you kind of use your fingers to pry it.
Yep.
You're prying it off the keel bone and you're cutting and pulling so you can see in there.
This is why I like to use my tip too. Because if I use the whole knife, I'm gonna bury it in there. Go down. Still feel a little frozen at the bottom too. So now we've made our incision going all the way down. So all the way at the bottom, there's more bone down there. So now just following, pull your knife and slide it along that bone in there. So, get that in there. There we go. And again, I'm doing it, I'm peeling back the breast so I can see the bone and see what I'm doing in there. I don't know if they're gonna hear the scraping of it, but when you're doing it, you'll hear a lot of scraping. It's always good. I'll come up a little more. And just scraping away. Come up. once you get to the end, easily cut it off. And that's our breast. So we have our breast on here, and then in the middle, we have the tender.
Tenderloin.
As you can see, there's very minimal meat left on the bone, on the carcass. That's what we want. Then same thing on the other side. I have my breastbone in the middle, you can feel it. This should be easier. Taking, perfect.
It is slippery,
Yep.
so you have to make sure that your other hand is out of the way.
Making my incision all the way down.
Still, he's still using his C grip. It's not quite the same with the vegetables, but you can see he's got his hand tucked back, so he doesn't catch it with that knife.
You can see the knife still just following the bone up there when I do it. I'm just doing long strokes against the bone. Tough skin on these.
We're doing this on a raw turkey, but this would be the same procedure on your cooked Thanksgiving turkey too, right? You do the same way to break it down on both platters.
Just following. Cut down. That's our second break. Again, second breast. We'll trim this up to make it look nice. And you got the turkey tenderloin on there. And going back to our carcass, we could see the joints from where the wings came off. If we look closely down, we might have taken it off with the backbone. But you might be able to see the joints from where, like right down here, from where our thighs came off. So,
All right. Fingers. All right, you're going?
all right.
So this is how I'm going to have paw the chicken. I like to sit him up on his butt with his kind of legs and arms bracing him. You can see this is the neck where the head would come out, right here, okay? And I'm gonna take my chef's knife and go down the ribs. And if you're in the right spot, it's gonna go through it like butter, okay? And then this is called spatchcocking. If you just, that went too easy. If you just do the chicken in half, you're supposed to smack the keel bone, right? And then you run your thumb down it and pop this right out, okay? This would be called spatchcocking your chicken. This you can remove the other half, sit them back up again, cut, here, go right through the ribs. I guess I did sharpen that knife pretty well. Cut all the way down to the tailbone. This is gonna go in our stock. So now if I wanted to, I could roast the whole chicken like this, right? Tuck his arms back underneath him.
Truss them.
You could, well, I would trust him. I wouldn't have cut the back off if I was gonna trust him, but you could tuck the arms underneath him like that and cook your whole chicken. We're gonna cut him in half today because we're doing some half roasted chickens, okay? So just right through half, and then you have 2 half chickens, all right? I also tuck the arms underneath so that these don't burn when they're cooking. Another thing you could do to make them look really nice, which way, this way? Is you can cook them like this, and then the leg protects the breast while it's cooking. Because the leg's gonna take longer to cook than the breast. So you could put them on the tray like this if you want, but we're gonna go really fast today. So we're gonna put them back down like this. We're gonna brush them with barbecue sauce, and we're gonna roast them off today.